Well, all of us strangers. I sprinted to the computer to write this review, analysis, whatever you call it, right when the credits rolled. This is a dangerously good film. It kept shocking me exactly how good this film was. This is on After Sun level for me, which is my favorite film. It actually was thematically very similar to After Sun, cutting between reality and the subconscious, using a bit of surrealism, having a fantastic score, which was edited and changed in a way that really supported the film, being incredibly sad, having a lot of themes about family and nostalgia, etc. I loved this film and thought its message was one of the strongest of the year. Brilliant performances from Scott and Mescal. I mean, really, this is an acting masterclass, just this film. I learned so much about performance, subtlety, and just a ton from acting just from watching this. I truly do think Andrew Scott could be one of our greatest living actors, and I'm so serious about that. From Hot Priest in Fleabag to Moriarty in Sherlock, his character in Smithereens, which is in Black Mirror, his performance as Hamlet, he just exudes disciplined exceptionalism. He is amazing. He doesn't miss. He's so innovative in the way that he shows human emotion. He's so authentic. It's ridiculous. There were countless moments in this film where his performance changed my mind about acting and human behavior. The suppression of his emotions, the allowance of them, the pain, the hurt, the hope, the decades of pain from all of this trauma he has experienced, it all showed. I love Andrew Scott with a burning passion, and I do hope and believe this will be the kickoff to his more, I guess we'll call it mainstream career, where he can play more leading roles. He has a film out on Netflix on my birthday, April 4th, called Ripley, and since it's on my birthday, it has to be good. So if you've had a conversation with me in real life or have watched my After Sun video on this channel, you know how much I adore Paul Mescal, perhaps one of our greatest decision makers, especially for his age when it comes to projects. Paul continues to put together a slim but magnificent resume. He's excellent in this film, just excellent. He allows Andrew Scott so much space, and their shifting dynamic is incredibly attractive, heartbreaking, and beautiful on screen. All of Us Strangers is on Hulu now, so if you haven't watched it already, go watch it and come back to this video. The story consists of Adam, played by Andrew Scott, meeting a neighbor who lives in the same new, virtually empty apartment building as him. Adam, a writer, is working on a screenplay and experiencing writer's block at the beginning. Harry, played by Paul Mescal, comes to Adam's door one night with a bottle, a little drunk, looking for some companionship. Adam, though intrigued by the prospect of letting Harry in, declines and stays alone. And the encounter stays at that, somewhat meaningless, maybe not. After that, Adam goes back and visits his childhood home where he lived up until age 12, where his parents passed away in a car accident on Christmas Day. He is trying to write his screenplay about his family and thought revisiting his old home would clear some of his writer's block. Although now grown up, Adam in many ways is still stuck in that version of himself, that 12-year-old version, and he begins to have dreamlike, imaginative sequences where he interacts with his parents at his current age, them being the same age they were when they passed. He talks with them together before having a day with each of them one-on-one. There are some heartbreaking and also hilariously funny, gentle, authentic moments in that childhood home between them in this state that is clearly not reality, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. The back and forth between his mothers in regards to Adam's homosexuality, as well as the dialogue between him and his father about Adam's childhood, is just brilliant filmmaking. They're both so similar, yet so different, the way that he interacts with his parents. Just unbelievable scenes crafted there. Testament to Andrew Scott, Claire Foy, and Jamie Bell, because they were all amazing in that. I cried so hard at both of those scenes. At the same time, Adam begins to let Harry, Paul Mescal's character, into his life after getting a second chance in the elevator with him. The two begin a love affair, which escalates quickly to a relationship of kind companionship. They complement each other really well, and the newfound love in Adam's life almost gives him permission to write more about his past and to keep diving into the deep end with his parents. Adam gets some closure and also allows himself to feel things he likely had to suppress in the past, but it does go a bit too far. He tries to take Harry with him and starts to get a bit obsessive, and his parents inform him that they have to end the encounters. They do have one final encounter at a diner where Adam is able to say goodbye to his parents before their death. Afterwards, Adam is back in his apartment, and he finally goes to check on Harry's flat, which he has never been inside and we haven't seen in the film yet. We come to find out that There is actually an alternate version of Harry, perhaps reality, perhaps not, perhaps it doesn't matter, that drank himself to death that night when he first asked Adam to drink with him, the first scene. A different version of Harry, the one Adam has formed a relationship with, enters his own apartment and we see Adam comfort him, ending on an overhead shot of the two of them in bed. The shot continues to rise until we see them fade into the galaxy, become stars, and the credits roll as Power of Love by Jennifer Rush plays. I think this film is just fantastic. There are so many mind-opening themes, so many themes that I subscribe to. And like I said, the performances are dazzling, mesmerizing, so let's jump in. I think the fact that we start with the fire alarm going off in this film shows that there's something to be cautious of in this story, that someone is at serious risk. I love this detail of Harry saying, quote unquote, there are vampires at his door in the first scene when Adam and Harry meet. Of course, this line Harry says is a nod to the song Adam is listening to at the beginning of the film, Power of Love, but also foreshadows Harry's struggles that we'll learn the truth about later in the film. And overall, I think the film is simply about that, the power of love. I love the last scene as these two humans we've just spent the past 105 minutes with reduced to nothingness, matter into the sky. If nothing we do matters, all that matters is what we do. We have the power, the ability to change people's existences, to alter them in ways that will put them on a different trajectory, and we are able to lead with love and affect them like that. But oftentimes, like Adam does in that first scene, we censor ourselves. We tell ourselves a story that we can't let someone in because of this reason or that. We've just met them. We tell ourselves they seem dangerous to try to convince ourselves that the safe life we're leading is the correct one. And not to do the cliche of saying the film's title, but we are all strangers. We're strange beings, trying to find connection wherever we can. And honestly, the strangest part is we behave as though others are not feeling the same desires as us. We either create stories in our own heads about why we can't let someone in or try to be let in, or we look at others as weird when they want to interact because it's easier to do so. In short, all of us are strangers until we allow love in. We all carry pain around, and sometimes we aren't careful or conscious enough to not let it sway our decision making. A friend recently told me a quote that stuck with me. We make every decision either out of fear or out of love. Every decision. And both are contagious when other people are involved. Acting with fear leads to someone else doing the same thing, putting up their fences and boundaries and choosing comfort as well. But when we accept that which is human to desire, connection, sex, companionship with someone we find attractive, our life can start to open up. They can help us deal with our pain, and the beauty of this story is we only see how Harry was helping Adam deal with his pain until the last scene, where we find out that it was more of a mutual transaction, if you will. It's no coincidence that Adam started revisiting his childhood memories when Harry came around. His heart up until that point was tangled up, and he suppressed so much for so long. This type of behavior can stifle us, it blocks us, just as we see Adam in the beginning, where he has just the scene heading on his script, which as a writer I know far too well, that sort of writer's block. Anyone who has been struck by tragedy, which is every single person ever, knows what it is like to just want one more moment with a loved one, or be in a certain time we loved, a nostalgic one, something from our childhood. With love, we can access this. When we toss fear to the wayside, we can allow ourselves to reflect on our life with love, feel the messy pain of the past, and not judge ourselves for feeling. This is the way, through love, and this film's message is that it is so scary to do that alone. And the great tragedy is that which we so desperately crave, we oftentimes don't give to other people because of whatever story is in our head. But what All of Us Strangers offers is a visual representation of that dichotomy, what we sacrifice by cowering with fear, but also what we can experience by leading with love, diving into it and living our lives. I really didn't want to just love this film because I love Adam Scott and Paul Mescal, so I'm so glad that it is as profound as it is. This is an easy all-timer for me. I'm both surprised and not surprised at all with the lack of Oscar love here. Whatever. Also, I love Claire Foy too. Great performance, her and the father, Jamie Bell. Every single person involved with this was so clearly gentle, beautiful, and inspired by this work. It was taken seriously, and that shines through so clearly. And also, I do want to note that I understand that this is a queer film, but I wanted to comment on the themes that resonated with me in particular, and not reach into areas I don't know much about. And as a heterosexual male, I feel I have commented on all that did, but I'm so excited to hear other humans talk about this film and have my mind open to different perspectives. All of Us Strangers for me is a 5 out of 5. It's beautiful. There are phenomenal songs in it too that just shape this film so well. I've had them all on repeat today. God, this is an amazing film. Go watch this. Go cry. Go feel. I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think in the comments.